I am genuinely so excited about this week's episode. I've been looking forward to it all week. We're going to talk about how to believe in your highest potential. And I worded this very specifically because you can logically know and understand that you want to get from point A to point B, and you can logically know that there is a higher potential out there for you. But if you don't feel it and believe it, it's not going to manifest and transpire in the way that it should. Welcome to Grow with Grace. This is a safe space wherever you are on your self-development journey. It's important to grow with grace and patience with ourselves. I chose to approach this episode today in terms of science, spirituality, and psychology, because sometimes I understand certain concepts when they're explained to me from a certain lens. So I wanted to give 3 different ways and perspectives to look at this topic today. And so I want to be able to connect your head and your heart when it comes to believing in your highest potential. I'll list the timestamps in the description. So a lot of talking, but we're going to start off with quantum physics within science. So let me tell you, TED Talks are my best friend. There is this TED Talk by Joanna McEwen. It's called How Raising Your Vibration Increases Serendipity. It is the most interesting TED Talk. She connects serendipity to quantum physics. So frequency and vibration make up everything in this world, makes up matter. Every piece of matter has vibration and a frequency. She talked about how we can improve our serendipity, which is basically things happening at the right time, manifesting at the right time, your life aligning in the way that you want it to. We can increase our highest potential by looking at water. And how does that work? Every piece of matter, everything, every thought, every object, even water has its own vibrational energy and frequency. There was a study done about water crystals from a microscopic lens. So when people were saying negative things, negative words, very low vibrational energy phrases to water, microscopic pictures were then taken of the water, and the fragments of the water crystals were distorted, not aligned, not a beautiful mosaic like the ones you see on glass-stained windows in geometry. And it's weird because water does not have a consciousness, but it's still being affected by the negative input that was put onto it, because energy lives everywhere. And it's kind of like when people say, oh, that vibe was weird. When you walk into a room and you feel like the vibe is off, the vibe is low. Or when you walk into a room and you're like, wow, good vibes for some reason. I just feel good vibes and there's a light presence to this room. That's actually scientifically explained with quantum physics and vibration, because energy you can't see, but you can feel, and your body aligns with the energy that it's around. On the other side, when words of affirmation, praise, gratitude, and prayers were being said over water, the water crystals looked more aligned and geometric. Everything was symbolizing the mosaics and the shapes found in nature. So I thought this was so interesting, because if we direct harmonious sound and energy to our bodies, we can scientifically bring ourselves to the best frequency and the optimal potential that they can be at. That goes back to surrounding yourself with things and people and places that are already at that harmonious state of love and gratitude. You can also learn more about this in the book The Secret Life of Water by Masaru Emoto. He talks about how something as simple as water is evolving based on the external forces that affect it. We can scientifically bring ourselves to this best optimal frequency because of the quantum vibrations and microtubules in our brain neurons. That might sound like a phrase you don't understand. I didn't really quite understand it at first when I was trying to read it, but there is a neurological scientific method to all this on a vibrational level. The last episode, I was talking about the scale of ultimate consciousness. In the science world, this is called the Hertz vibration scale frequency. And this shows the actual Hertz level, the numerical value of your vibrational frequency when you are tuning in to an emotion or feeling. Something that really made me believe the potentiality of reaching my highest potential was understanding what you tune into and what you let affect you and what you focus on will become how you feel. And so this Hertz vibration scale frequency shows that the numeric value actually changes based off what mood you're in. When you tune in to a more positive and higher frequency, you can embody the frequency that matches your highest potential, that matches your dreams. Even water was being affected by positive and negative thought patterns and affirmations. It's already proven that if it affects water, then it sure is affecting us and humans who have a level of consciousness. Water does not have consciousness, but the cells of the water are still being affected. So now that we've talked about the riveting scientific quantum physics lens, we're now going to move to the spiritual/religious lens. I don't know what faith you have. I don't know if you're spiritual or religious, both. Maybe you're atheist. Maybe you don't believe in a God at all. But I just am here to bring a different lens. I'm never going to preach something that you should believe, but I found this to be very helpful for me as someone who is Christian and grew up Christian. I also can understand different religions. I believe that we all are creations of the universe. Therefore, there is a piece of the Creator inside of all of us, no matter what faith or religion you believe in. This can also just be there is a piece of the higher version of yourself inside of you. Religion and faith and the universe does not see time as linear. And so with religion, we can understand and feel how to reach our highest potential by believing in something higher that already sees the outline for us, who has the bird's eye view. I like to look at historical references from the past that people have written down. I have this book called God's Promises for Your Every Need, and it's actually taken from the Bible, but there's different sections. If you need strength, if you need stability, if you're discouraged or lonely, this book points to different Bible verses that actually help you when you are feeling these things. And I wanted to just explain some of the verses that I have went to when I have been in need of some kind of revelation. John 12, verse 46. The verse is, I have come as a light to shine in this dark world, so that all who put their trust in me will no longer remain in the dark. You are walking in light with not just yourself, but something that can see the light and is the light. There is a better version of yourself out there, and that you are actually walking towards that every day, step by step, even if it doesn't feel linear. I feel like a lot of religion sometimes can be more logical. I grew up Catholic and never really understood religion as a feeling, but more of just like something I had to do and prayers I had to memorize. But your relationship with God or the universe or your higher self or anything higher is your own personal journey, and it's your own personal relationship. You don't have to prove it to anyone. It's developing this friendship and this bond with something you can't see, but something that you can feel. There's also a verse in James. The verse says, draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. So drawing near to something that is going to bring you higher. If we're just depending on ourselves, then that's scary. Thank God, literally, that it's not just us. If it was just me figuring this out, I would be screwed. I mean, I'm very proud of myself for where I am today, but there is a reason for us even being here. I also wanted to talk about a concept called Dharma in Hinduism. I feel like Dharma could relate more to like a self-fulfilling idea of like New Age spirituality. Dharma is basically what your higher purpose is. What is your unique vibration that your soul carries? You can find your Dharma or your highest purpose by really trusting that gut feeling inside of you, that comfort feeling or that uncomfort feeling you feel when you're making a decision. That voice that you hear and that gut feeling is very relevant to your Dharma. How do you become more aware and open to figuring out what your Dharma or your higher purpose is? Well, a lot of monks do this. You've heard of meditation, but quieting your mind, feeling what is best for you in your heart. And there's a lot of times where we miss this. We miss the revelation of our intuition. It's just really important to be aware of these signs in your everyday life because they're going to come to you every day. It just depends on if you do something about it and if you act on it. Now we're going to talk about psychology. I've always loved psychology. I think it's so interesting how our brains work, and we're just kind of existing in these bodies with these complex brains. This kind of goes a little bit into spirituality, but law of attraction, I feel like, is a very psychological theme. Like attracts like. Whatever you focus on and whatever you are incorporating into your daily life is what you're going to attract. So it can be used in a positive way, which is what is represented on the media. But you also have to be consciously aware that if you go into the negative way, you're going to attract the worst version of yourself, and you don't want that. You want to keep her far away. You don't want that. There's a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I actually just started reading it. It basically talks about how you can embody wealth. It talks about real stories that have happened in the past from homeless and broke and poor people who made their way to wealth and abundance and making millions. It really has a lot of concrete evidence and facts in here that back up the psychology of everything. This book is definitely more centered towards wealth and money, but it honestly relates to any aspect of your life you're trying to improve. Acquiring wealth and abundance is just going to make you a better person and reach your highest potential anyway. So page 23 says, you may complain that it is impossible for you to see yourself in possession of money before you actually have it. Here is where a burning desire will come to your aid. If you truly desire money so keenly that you desire is an obsession, you will have no difficulty in convincing yourself that you will acquire it. The object is to want money and to become so determined to have it that you will convince yourself you will have it. So this kind of goes with the very cliche quote, fake it till you make it. You have to convince yourself, actively convince yourself that you already have your desire, and you have to be obsessed with it. So once you convince yourself of this obsession that it's already happened or it's already happening, you don't have to worry about it because it's already been done. So I thought that was a really cool concept. The most important way that we can feel and believe in our highest potential is being open-minded. And this quote very much supports my personal belief. It says, tolerance and an open mind are practical necessities for the dreamer of today. If you think about it practically, if you have a door that's closed in front of you and you're not deciding to open it, you're not going to see or believe what's on the other side. So I think that being open in general and tolerant, putting up with what comes with being open, is the key. We can understand how to believe in our highest potential by also understanding self-actualization. And this was a concept created by neurologist Kurt Goldstein. It's the process of realizing and believing in one's full potential. And later on, Abraham Maslow created the human hierarchy of needs based off self-actualization. There are 6 different needs that every human has. They are safety, connection, self-esteem, exploration, love, and purpose. If you're taking notes right now, what I would do is make a little wheel, a wheel of life. Everything has to have balance. If your connection spoke of your wheel is thriving, but your safety and self-esteem spoke is dwindling and failing, then there's a misbalance, there's an unbalance. I think that some people weigh too much into certain areas of their life, such as, career or romantic relationships. If you're leveraging one area of your life over the other into a way that's not healthy, your needs are not being met. So when you spell this out for yourself, and once you logically see this, you can feel and be hungry for change. It's really helped me too. And when you see this in a graphic way, it's more easier to compartmentalize what you need to do. That kind of takes the fear out of it because you now have a spelled out plan for the course of action you need to take. You can look up the hierarchy of human needs to give you more of a visual, but I hope that this helped. I feel like understanding a concept in different lenses is very impactful. I like to break things up in different chapters. So we just talked about how we can believe in our highest potential and how we can move towards that. And we discussed that through science and quantum physics, religion/spirituality, and through psychology. So I hope that this podcast gave you a lot of nuggets of information, and I hope that I broke it up into more bite-sized pieces. I hope you were able to digest this. Just keep growing. Every day is going to look different, and just keep giving yourself grace and reassurance. Applaud yourself. Give yourself a nice pat on the back for even being here in the first place. We all deserve to be happy, And so that's why I wanted to talk about how we can reach and believe, not just logically, but feel that we are capable of our higher potential. I would love to keep doing this, so if you could follow me wherever you're listening or watching, that would be so incredible. Follow me on socials at Grow with Grace, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, wherever or whenever you're listening. Thank y'all so much, and I will see you next time.